For the work visa application process, you will need a bunch of documents like the work invitation letter from your employer. You will need a medical checkup in your country. Even when you come here, you have to still do it again. If you are just joining my video right now, we are talking about China visa. China visa topic is so broad in such a way that you have to always follow up on recent developments in order to be up to date with visa procedures. I watch many videos online where people unknowingly mislead others about visa requirements, visa types, and visa procedures. And most of these people are not even in China, where China visa policy changes day by day. Now, being in China for quite a number of years, and I've been doing my visas regularly, I can give you the first-hand information about China visa. China has a lot of visas, but I'm going to limit this video to up to 4 visa types, and I'm going to explain them to you. First, we are going to talk about entry visas, which most people get confused about. And we'll be talking about work visas, which is the Z visa. We'll be talking about visit visas, which has S1, S2, and Q1. We'll be talking about tourist visas, which is the L visa. And finally, we'll be talking about student visa, which is an X visa. These 4 types of visas could enable you to enter China, unless for those countries that are visa-free to China. Even at that, they still need to prove some sort of identification and itinerary. We will talk about this in the video. A very quick disclaimer. I am not an immigration officer. I am not affiliated with any visa agency, and I'm not a visa consultant. So please, all what I'm going to say here based on my research and my time I've been spending in this country, because I do my visa every year. So I think I'm going to give you the first-hand information that you need. Let's talk about entry visas. I think everyone needs a visa to come to China, unless you are one of those people from those countries that China entered a visa-free policy with. All right, let's begin with the visa type. Let's start with visit visa, or visitor's visa, as we can call it. If you intend to visit China and you are not from one of those visa-free countries, you need to apply for a visitor's visa. Let's say you want to visit a close relative, your mom, your dad who works in China. You need an invitation letter from these people, and you need to apply for a visitor's visa before you enter China. In as much as it is an immediate family member, you could stay here with that visa, and it could be changed to resident permit. And the visa that you're coming with will be different from the one that they're going to give to friends, cousins, aunties, uncles. Visitors' visa are in different categories. We have the S1, the S2, and the Q1, which also signifies or identify different family members. And all of these visas have different durations. You could do a research to know more about this. Let's say you are from the visa-free countries. You still need to show that you are coming to do something specific in China. What are you coming to do? Are you coming to live with your parents, or are you coming to just hang out for the holidays? You need a whole bunch of itinerary. Let's talk about tourist visa. You know, most people get it confused about this type of visa with visitor's visa. A tourist visa is a tourist visa. A visitor's visa is a visitor's visa. You can compare these two visas. They have a very clear distinction. For those who are coming here for tourism purposes, you need to still go through the normal channel and apply for a tourist visa, unless you are from one of those visa-free countries, okay? And you could stay for 30 days, 60 days, 180 days, depending on your kind of tourist visa. Now, some countries are eligible to get their visas when they arrive China at the port of entry. They could get an e-visa, and they are only going to a specific city or province in China. They could stay for like 15 days or up to 30 days. And with this kind of visa, you can't work here in China. You only need to stay here as the visa demands and exit before the visa expires. If you need to stay more than that, you need to exit China and reapply, and then you can come back. So my African brothers, it is quite unfortunate that most of the African countries don't have a bilateral tie with China when it comes to visa-free policies. Okay? And if you are coming here to visit a close friend, you need a visa. If you are coming here for a family reunion, you need a visa. And I understand South Africa has the privilege to apply for an e-visa if they're coming here for tourism purposes. And there's this one thing I'd like to emphasize about. If you think you will get a tourist visa, enter China and start working, and then I have bad news for you. It's not going to be possible. For those who come from those countries that are visa-free, when you enter China and you need to apply for a work visa, you still need to go back out and re-enter. That is the normal procedure. Now, let's take this. A school calls teacher B to come and work in China, but can't provide a work visa from the start. And the school says, no, don't worry, just come. When you come, we will apply for your visa here in China. That's a very big lie. Let me tell you the secret about this. Some schools, some employers, some companies don't even have the formality, don't even have the documentation. They don't even know how to apply for a work visa, but they need a teacher. And now they'll just fool you around when you come here and you're almost done with your visit visa or your tourist visa, and they can't provide anything, but they have already used you, and they'll ask you to go, and they'll start giving you stories up and down, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, the policies have changed. We didn't know things like this. My best advice for you is, if you are coming for work, apply for your work visa. If you're coming for studies, apply for your student's visa. Don't come and have problems in China. Nobody will save you. You're going to get into trouble with the authorities. Another secret I'm going to tell you is that most employers lack the confidence to invite international staff to work in their companies or in their schools. Okay? What they will do is they will ask you to come first through tourist visa, because for that they won't spend any money. When you come here and work for like 2 weeks and they finally agree that, okay, we should employ this person because we think he's good. And that is when they will start trying to see which documents you have. Do you have a bachelor's degree? Do you have these? Do you have that? Do you have these? And then let's find a way to apply for a visa for you. And then you have to go out of China, probably back to your country or exit to another country. And then you apply for this visa. And then you can come back and work legally. Because if you go to the immigration bureau for the immigration to give you a resident permit, or for the FEP, which is Foreign Expat Bureau, to give you your work permit, they won't give it. They'll first of all trace how you entered the country. If it is through the tourist visa, and then you will likely have a visa refuser. So don't waste your time coming here on the tourist visa when you know that you really want to work in China. Let's talk about work visas, which is the most important. A work visa and a resident permit are not the same. When you apply for a work visa in your country and you enter China with this work visa, this visa needs to be changed and they will apply a resident permit for you. A resident permit is what you need to stay in China while you're working. Okay? And the work visa, when you just enter China, has no value. They have to change it. So those are the differences. For you to work in China, you have a bunch of documentation to go through. This is what gives headaches to most employers. So for the work visa application process, you will need a bunch of documents like the work invitation letter from your employer. You will need a medical checkup in your country. Even when you come here, you have to still do it again. This is a must. And you also need to sign a pre-contract with your employer. You will need a non-criminal record. Some countries don't, but some countries do. So there's a lot of documents that you have to compile, put together, and apply for a work visa, which is it could be approved if your documents are clean and clear. The last part is a student visa. If you're coming to China for studies, you need a student visa. There's no magic about that. So when you have to apply for a student visa, you need a bunch of documents too. You will need to apply to a school here in China and they will issue you an admission letter. You put them together with other relevant documents. You forward them to the embassy in your country, to the Chinese embassy in your country, and they will check all these documents and your visa could be approved, and then you come to China for studies. And for those of you who want to study in China and you have been trying your luck and not finding a very good school, you could comment down below. I'm going to try my best to find relevant and good schools that could offer scholarship for international students. You could apply. If you're lucky, they might accept you. Our next video, we'll be talking about possible solutions to your visa problems here in China. And we'll be talking about what you should avoid while working in China. If you have been watching this video right up to this point, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. If you don't mind, please subscribe so that YouTube can recommend my video to many people who wants this information. For those of you who wants to share things about China visa, please put your thoughts in the comment section below and we are going to talk about it. Until then, goodbye.
Follow me, follow me, follow me.